I never imagined a simple thumb drive could turn a man's world upside down. But there it sat on the mahogany table in that sterile Manhattan courtroom, catching the harsh fluorescent lights like a diamond in the rough. Alexander Harrington, my husband of 6 years, was across from me, his tailored charcoal suit clinging to him like a second skin, sweat trickling down his temple despite the air-conditioned chill. His lawyer, a sharp-eyed shark named Marcus with a Rolex that screamed old money, leaned in whispering furiously. But Alex wasn't hearing it. His eyes were locked on that little device, a sleek, silver keychain drive shaped like a snowflake. Innocent-looking, but loaded with poison. Judge Elena Ramirez, a no-nonsense Latina woman in her mid-50s with salt and pepper hair tied back and eyes that had pierced through 1,000 lies, adjusted her reading glasses and leaned forward. She'd seen it all in family court: cheaters, abusers, deadbeats, but even she seemed intrigued by this tiny thing I'd just placed before her. "Mrs. Harrington," she said, her voice steady and commanding, "you've indicated you have evidence pertaining to the dissolution of your marriage. Proceed." My heart pounded like a war drum in my chest, but I kept my hands clasped in my lap, steady as steel. I'd rehearsed this with Sarah, my best friend and a pit bull of a private investigator, over endless cups of coffee in her cramped Brooklyn apartment. "Stay cool," she'd said. "Speak clear. Don't let the bastards see you crack." "Yes, Your Honor," I replied, my voice coming out smoother than I felt. "It's all on this drive." Marcus arched a perfectly groomed eyebrow, glancing at Alex before turning to me. "Your Honor, we weren't notified of any digital evidence being presented today." I met his gaze without flinching. "I filed all the proper notices. Everything's in order." Sarah had made damn sure of that, every form, every deadline, dotted I's and crossed T's. Judge Ramirez nodded curtly. "The court confirms receipt. Continue." "Mrs. Harrington." I could feel eyes boring into me from the gallery. Victoria Harrington, Alex's mother, sat in the front row like she owned the place, her pearl earrings glinting under the lights, her designer pantsuit in deep crimson screaming old money elegance. She'd shown up looking like she was heading to a gala, not watching her son's marriage implode. Her blonde hair, streaked with strategic silver for that distinguished vibe, was impeccable. Makeup flawless. She probably figured I'd fold like a cheap suit, take whatever crumbs their legal team tossed my way, and vanish into the ether the way girls like me were supposed to. I caught her eye for a split second. She smirked, all confidence and condescension. She had no clue what was coming. "What exactly does this device contain?" Judge Ramirez asked, picking up the snowflake drive and turning it over in her manicured hands. 6 years of proof." "Your Honor," I said, my voice gaining strength. "Texts, emails, bank records, photos, voice memos, everything that exposes the real rot in our marriage and why it's over." That's when Alex made a choke sound, like he'd swallow glass. I looked at him, really looked. The guy I'd married 8 years ago had warm hazel eyes and a laugh that could light up a room. He'd held my hand through bad horror flicks, surprised me with bagels when I pulled all-nighters on freelance gigs. He'd even charmed my mom, calling her Ma over Sunday dinners in our tiny Queens walk-up, even though his own mother turned up her nose at it. That Alex was long gone, buried under layers of entitlement. The man staring back now had cold, calculating eyes, hair slicked with too much gel, and a silk tie that cost more than my mom's rent. He reeked of privilege, the kind that whispered he was untouchable, superior, especially to someone like me, the working-class girl from the wrong side of the tracks. "Your Honor," Marcus jumped in, rising quickly. We request time to review this so-called evidence before. The evidence speaks for itself. I cut him off. Something the old Emily would never have done. I'd have apologized on reflex. Shrunk back. But not anymore. Judge Ramirez eyed me with a spark of interest. Elaborate. I drew a deep breath. This was the pivot point. The moment the dam broke. On that drive, you'll find over 300 messages between my husband and his mother trashing me. How I don't belong in their world. How my blue-collar roots make me a liability. An embarrassment to the Harrington name. My words hung in the air. Steady as a blade. Sarah would be proud I wasn't shaking. You'll also see proof of 3 affairs Alex carried on during our marriage. Bank statements showing he funneled our joint assets into his mom's trusts, prepping to screw me over in this divorce. And audio clips of them plotting how to leave me penniless. The room went dead silent. Alex's face drained to ash. His knuckles white on the table edge. Marcus scribbled like a man possessed. Damage control mode in overdrive. But it was Victoria's reaction that hit like sweet payback. Her smug grin evaporated. Hands twisting her handbag like a lifeline. These are grave accusations, Judge Ramirez said. Her tone measured, but her eyes drilling into Alex. Mr. Harrington. Alex opened his mouth. Fish-like. Then shut it. Your Honor. My wife is twisting private talks out of context. Marriages get messy. People vent. Did you say those things? The judge pressed. Simple as a hammer. It's a yes or no. Alex shot Marcus a desperate look. The lawyer shook his head. Don't answer. Something inside me shifted. A quiet fire igniting. For years, Alex had smooth-talked his way out of everything. His Ivy League charm and family connections paving over cracks. He'd gaslit me into thinking I was overreacting to his mom's barbs. Too clingy when I questioned his late nights. Insecure about the way he eyed other women. But here, in this courtroom, charm meant squat. Evidence didn't give a damn about his pedigree. Your Honor, I added softly. There's more. Proof of ongoing emotional manipulation. How they schemed this divorce to break me while shielding their fortune. Alex's hands trembled now. Visibly. Should I go on? I asked, locking eyes with him. Fear flickered there, not just of losing cash, but of being stripped bare. Everyone seeing the ugliness under his polished facade. Marcus bolted up. Chair screeching. Your Honor. We request a recess. My client needs to confer. Granted, Judge Ramirez said. But her gaze lingered on the drive. 30 minutes. The gavel cracked like thunder. As she exited, everyone rose. Alex huddled with Marcus. Whispers frantic. Victoria hustled over. Heels clacking like accusations. Her poise cracking. I gathered my things deliberately. No rush. Sarah had drilled it in. You hold the power now. Own the room. So I smoothed my modest black sheath dress off the rack, but sharp, and headed for the doors. As I passed Alex, he lunged halfway, then recoiled. Emily. What the hell? We can settle this quietly. You don't have to. I didn't break stride. Behind me. Victoria's voice sliced through. Fix this. Marcus. Fix it now. The doors swung shut with a soft thud. In the hallway, my legs turned to jelly, but I leaned against the cool marble wall and let a smile creep in. I'd done it. The snowflake drive sat with the judge, primed to unleash every buried secret. 30 minutes till the fallout. 8 years back. I was fidgeting in a too-fancy Soho gallery, staring at my own freelance illustrations pinned to a corner wall like afterthoughts. The place was all minimalist white and pretentious whispers. Folks sipping overpriced wine like it was holy water. I'd snagged the spot through my community college prof, who pushed for up-and-coming artists in this charity auction, code for broke creatives who couldn't buy their way in. My 3 digital prints, inspired by gritty city streets, were priced at $50 each, humble. Realistic. No delusions. I was plotting my escape when he sauntered up. "These are killer," he said. And I figured he meant someone else's work. But no. He was eyeing me, tall with that effortless charisma. Dark hair tousled just right. Gray suit hugging him like it was custom, and it probably was. His smile disarmed me. Wine glass held casually. Like he'd grown up in places like this. "Thanks," I mumbled, expecting him to drift off. He didn't. He leaned in, studying the middle piece, a vibrant mix of urban chaos and hope I designed for a local coffee shop. "This one's got heart. Most art here screams, 'Look at me.' Yours just exists." Honest. I blinked, caught off guard. "That's what I aimed for." "Alexander Harrington," he said. Hand extended. "Emily Thompson." His grip was warm, confident without crushing. We chatted for 20 minutes. Then an hour real talk. Not the surface BS. He dug into my process. My inspirations from growing up in Queens, scraping by with my single mom. When I admitted I'd bootstrapped my skills on free online tutorials 'cause fancy design schools were out of reach, he didn't flinch. "Best creators I know are self-made," he nodded. "Degrees can box you in." By closing time, he'd bought all 3 prints, not for 50 each, but 300 total, insisting they were steals. "Way too much," I protested. "Not nearly enough," he countered with that grin. "Dinner sometime? I'd love to hear more about your world." I should have paused. Questioned why a guy like him, polished, privileged, reeking of Upper East Side, saw something in me. But at 24, with him looking at me like I was the star exhibit, I said yes. Our first date was at a swanky midtown spot with starched linens and servers who ghosted like shadows. I wore my best thrift find dress, still feeling like an imposter. But Alex didn't bat an eye. Over appetizers, he asked about my childhood, mom's grind at the diner, life in a cramped apartment where the heat cut out half the winter. No judgment, just curiosity. "My family's loaded," he admitted casually over dessert, like mentioning the weather. "But money doesn't make folks interesting." "You are, Emily. You've built from scratch, that's real grit." I tumbled a bit in love right there, his words wrapping around the insecurities I'd carried like baggage. The next 2 years blurred into a fairy tale I feared jinxing. Sure, he whisked me to upscale spots, but he also devoured greasy slices at my favorite pizza joint in Queens, declaring it beat any Michelin star. He met Mom in our shoebox apartment, lounged on the sagging couch, sipped tea from mismatched mugs, and chatted about her shifts like she was a CEO. "He's got good eyes," Mom whispered later. "Sees you for you." Alex championed my work, delivered takeout during deadlines, helped negotiate fair rates when clients lowballed me. "Know your value," he'd say. "Don't let them walk over you." He proposed on a rainy Tuesday in my apartment, post-deadline haze, kneeling by my desk with a simple emerald-cut ring that screamed thoughtful luxury. "Emily, you make life brighter. Marry me?" It fit like fate. I said yes mid-sentence. But the engagement party cracked the illusion. The Harrington estate in the Hamptons was obscene, sprawling lawns, driveways that crunched under luxury tires, portraits of stern ancestors glaring from walls. I'd known Alex had money, but this was dynasty-level wealth, the kind that funded Ivy Wings and whispered deals. "They'll adore you," he assured as we pulled up. Victoria greeted us at the door. All preserved elegance, blonde bob flawless, skin Botox smooth, outfit costing more than my rent. Her smile was polite frost. "So this is Emily," she drawled, scanning me like inventory. Alex has shared so much. The so much landed like a veiled threat. The party buzzed with insiders trading boarding school stories and yacht anecdotes I couldn't touch. I wore my nicest dress, budget chic, and felt like a fraud. Alex's siblings nodded politely, then ghosted. Victoria cornered me by the charcuterie. Alex says you do. Computer art, she said. Like it was quaint trash. Freelance illustrator, I corrected softly. How charming. Very. Bohemian. She sipped champagne. Alex has phases. You know. Dated an artistic type in college. We worried. But he outgrew it. The subtext hit like a slap. I was temporary. You'll adjust to our circle, she added. Smile knife sharp. Different standards. You understand. I tried venting to Alex on the drive home. She's protective, he shrugged. Give her time. But time only sharpened the edges. The wedding was a spectacle at the estate, 200 guests. My mom and friends tucked in back, while Victoria's cronies hogged front pews. I dreamed small. Intimate. Victoria decreed grandeur. Harringtons have a reputation. I walked in her picked gown. Through her orchestrated flowers. Before strangers. Alex kissed me amid applause. And for a heartbeat, hope flickered. But in the ladies' room, I overheard Victoria. She's sweet. But she'll learn her place. Alex always circles back to family. The first fracture. Deep and silent. I ignored it. Like burying a landmine. Year 1. I chalked up the slights to paranoia. Alex still pecked my cheek mornings. Asked about my day. Held my hand on strolls, hallmarks of solid love. Right? But the undercurrents built. Grammar nitpicks at cocktail parties. It's fewer, not less, Han, with a chuckle that stung. Wardrobe suggestions for his firm events, the black ones classier. By year 2. Sighs punctuated my work stories, subtle exhales that made me clam up. He'd monologue about his corporate law dramas. I'd listen. Probe. Support. My turn? He'd zone into his phone. Mutter about emails. Year 3 turned family brunches into torture. Every Sunday at the Hamptons. Victoria relegated me to the table's end. Away from real talk. Alex sat by her. Dissecting deals and inheritances. I'd be stuck with deaf Aunt Muriel and phone zombie nephew Jake. Emily. Dear. Kitchen help. Victoria'd coo. Despite the staff. I'd plate food. Eavesdropping her digs. That dress is bold. Not everyone learns etiquette young. Alex never defended. You're overthinking. Mom's just blunt. So I swallowed it. Shrink. Stopped fighting. By year 4. Apologies flowed from me like reflex for salty dinners. Fatigue after gigs. Missing elite references. Sorry for breathing wrong in their air. Alex worked late constantly. Texts claiming overtime. I'd wait up early on. Hoping for connection, he'd crash irritable. Distant. Weekend lunch. I'd suggest. Got that club thing with Mom. You'd hate it. Invites dried up, my input vanished. I became decor in our sleek penthouse, noticed only when inconvenient. Year 5. The first affair clue, his phone buzzed at breakfast. Him showering. Last night was magic. When next, from colleague. My gut iced. He brushed it, group dinner thank you. You're imagining. Show me the thread. No way, your trust issues again? He stormed out. I hypervigilated after, wrong shade lipstick on collars. Receipts for cozy bistros on work nights, post-commute showers skipping hellos. Explanations piled, hug from a client, business lunch, traffic grime. Maybe I was unhinged. Maybe marriages faded like this. Year 6 sparked false hope. Vacation? Reconnect. Can't. Big merger. Weekend getaway? Why so needy? We're solid. I revamped our living room with bold hues. My earnings. His frown, too flashy. Mom's designer could have classed it up. Then Christmas Eve. My Hail Mary, I'd craft a flawless dinner. Prove I fit. Days prepping Victoria's faves roast. Pies from scratch. House glowed with lights. Table set pristine. They arrived frosty, Victoria in silk. Critiquing instantly. Quaintly festive. Siblings distant. I hosted flawlessly, coats. Drinks. Smiles. At table. Compliments were robotic, adequate. I tried chiming in on their gossip. Victoria talked over. Redirecting. 3 times. Erased. Postmates. My chocolate tort, store-bought, she simpered. Homemade. Tastes mass-produced. Silence. Alex said zilch. Just forked more. I cleared plates. Hands quaking. From kitchen. Victoria's voice carried. You should have listened, I told you she wasn't our kind. I froze. Plates clattering softly. She tries. But breeding shows. Dress em up. But they're still. Beneath. A chuckle rippled. Then Alex. Crystal clear, Mom's right. She's an embarrassment. Always was lower than us. The world tilted. I must have gasped, they turned. Plates? Already down. Victoria smirked. No remorse. My son deserves class. 6 years of swallowed poison. Self-doubt. Erosion. My chest hollowed. Vital parts gutted. Alex's irritation. I'd intruded on their truth. I raised a hand. He shut up. I folded my apron precisely. Ascended stairs. Behind. Murmurs. Then laughs, they'd pivoted. I perched on our bed in darkness. The loneliest spot despite sharing it. Phone out. I dialed Sarah. Christmas dinner. Need help. Evidence. All of it, texts. Transfers. Lies. Pause. Sure. No one ringing this bell. Alex's words echoed, embarrassment. Lower. Dead sure. Boxing Day. I'll be there. Hang tight. Call ended pre-tears. Downstairs. Departures. Doors. Engines. Alex's farewells. House silenced. He lingered below TV. Clinking glass. Unwinding. Midnight. He slipped in. Turned away. Snored peacefully. I stared at his back. Numb. Christmas morning. Gift charade. His. Pricey perfume. Victoria's scent. Mine. Rare book I'd scrimped for. Thanks set aside. Breakfast mute. Him phone glued. Club lunch with Mom. Of course. He eyed me suspiciously. Buzz, moment lost. Sarah arrived post his exit. Gear laden. Show me his devices. Statements, everything. 3 grueling days mining while he officed. Clueless. Sarah unearthed horrors. Hundreds of Alex Victoria texts mocking my style. Roots. Job, charity case, social experiment. Allowances from her for enduring her. 3 affairs, office flings. Encouraged. That paralegal's pedigree fits. Post-quiet divorce. Sibling chats. How long till he dumps the project? Finances. 2 years siphoning joint funds to her trusts, $120K hidden. Worst. Accidental voice memo from excluded dinner. Them plotting. Handle Emily, ensure she gets zilch. Alex. Too shamed to fight. Knows she's outclassed. Victoria's cackle. Warned you on slumming. She'll crawl back to her slum. Forget this mess. Alex. Wasted 6 years. God. Sarah paused post-playback. Eyes blazing. This is gold. Abuse. Fraud. Airtight. Calm settled. Icy resolve. USB it. Something symbolic. She sourced the snowflake drive, fragile beauty for ugly guts. Organized. Dated. Cross-linked. They can't spin this. Filed January 2nd. Alex. Served. Smirked, why fret? I was nobody. Hearing late January, him casual. Marcus cocky. Night before. At Sarah's, drive gleamed. Last out. He called me embarrassment. Let him taste it. Recess over. I re-entered poised. Sarah squeezed my hand. Alex looked wrecked, greenish. Sweat-soaked. Victoria gripped her bag. Mask slipping. Judge Ramirez, continue. Mrs. Harrington. Breath in. Your Honor. 347 degrading messages. Common mistake. Financials. $120,000 shifted to her trusts, joint property sales. Investments. Hidden. Marcus interjected, judge silenced. Affairs. 3. Encouraged emails. Receipts. Untrue to Marcus. Crickets. Recordings. Them scheming. Sarah cued the clip. Alex's voice boomed, too shamed to fight. Knows she's outclassed. Victoria, slumming. Crawl back to slum. Alex, wasted 6 years. Silence thundered. Judge's fury iced. Mr. Harrington. Stand. Shaky rise. Your voice. Yes. Affairs? Yes. Asset hiding? Yes. Marcus spun, stress venting. Prudent planning. Hollow. Judge, in 23 years. This contempt shocks. Ruling, Mrs. Harrington gets 60% assets, including transferred return in 30 days or contempt for Mrs. Harrington Sr. Spousal, $4,000 monthly. 3 years. Refer fraud to Bar Association. Alex blanched, career jeopardy. Please sit. Proceedings public for future spouses. Gavel down. Alex erupted, ridiculous. She's nothing from nothing. Stares pinned him. Judge, contempt next. He deflated. Red-faced. Exposed. She nodded to me, strength amid cruelty. Use freedom wisely. Chaos post-adjournment. Alex raging. Marcus restraining. Victoria screeching. I exited with Sarah. Breathing free. Behind, their empire crumbling. 3 months on, cozy Brooklyn flat. My colors. My art. Business boomed, old clients returned. New gigs flowed. No more shrinking. The price? Scars. But worth every healed wound.